the question that everyone's been asking for months, it seems, is Edge returning to a WWE ring in the near future? Is the rated R superstar, the WWE Hall of Famer, returning to WWE for one more run? Now, obviously, Edge had to retire in 2011 due to injuries, due to specifically a neck injury. He sustained a broken neck, I believe, in 2002, 2003, that at the time had him out of action for, it was well over 12 months. He returned in 2004 to the Raw brand, and he even stated that at that time he knew he was wrestling on borrowed time. Now, fast forward all those years to 2011, he would have his final match at WrestleMania 27, defending the World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Alberto Del Rio. And then on, not the following Raw, but the Raw after that, he revealed that the doctors have told him, look, you've got spinal stenosis, one more bump and you could be paralysed. You know, we're never going to clear you ever again. That was the line, wasn't it? We're never going to clear you ever again. And he doesn't want to wrestle anywhere else. He doesn't want to jeopardise his health. So he retired. Now, that was then. We're never going to clear you again. Fast forward to 2019, 2020, as we are now, and the rumours have been rampant, haven't they? Is Edge returning to WWE? This all started when he made a surprise cameo on the SummerSlam kickoff show last year in Toronto. He appeared during an Elias segment and then actually speared Elias. Now, that took everyone back, because Edge has been on that list for a long time now, the no bump list, the no contact list. He may have sort of had implied violence whenever he'd have done his occasional appearances on WWE TV, but he'd never done something physical. And he speared Elias, and now that's a particularly jarring move for the neck, isn't it? So at the time, everyone wondered, what does this mean? You know, has he been cleared? What's happened? But some people just sort of ruled it out at the time as just a one-off sort of deal. Edge then went on his podcast, actually, and said, you know, I could do a match tomorrow. And he explained that Edge has done quite a lot, or Adam Copeland has done quite a lot of acting roles since his retirement. He's appeared on multiple TV shows. I believe it was at the Vikings. He certainly appeared on The Flash for several episodes on the CW network. And he explained that when he does these roles, these typical action roles, he does a lot of his own stunts, which, if you know how the stunt business works, that can be very physical. That can be the equivalent of taking a bump in the ring, because it's not, people just assume, oh, stunt work, smoke and mirrors. It is to a certain extent, but people get hurt all the time. It's the same as pro wrestling. People get hurt all the time. It's simulated violence, but the violence just creep over. So he basically said, look, my neck's healed quite a lot. I do a lot of my own stunts. I could have a match if I wanted to, which started the rumours. Now, the latest of it is that we've heard, or reports have suggested, that Edge has signed a brand new contract with the WWE, which has a significant upside. An upside described as way too much just to keep him on a Legends deal, or, you know, just to do the odd appearance where he doesn't do anything, just cuts a promo, and certainly way too much of an upside just to keep him out of other companies' hands. So that's an indication that, hey, something physical might be happening soon. We also heard that, I believe late last year or early this year, he'd gone to Pittsburgh on, quote, WWE business. Now, Pittsburgh is the host, or is the place where their WWE sort of top medical physician, I believe is named Dr. Andrews, who clears a lot of the superstars for return to action. You've probably heard his name a lot with the Daniel Bryan case, of where he was the guy that cleared Daniel Bryan to return to the ring after Bryan had done all the work to prove that he was fit and healthy and ready to go. So essentially, if you hear a superstar saying, I'm going to Pittsburgh, they're either getting surgery or they're getting cleared. So that itself was a big red flag of, okay, something's happening here. Now, of course, he's denied it several times. He said, no, it's never going to happen. I've got a bad neck. I like to mention to people when they say, you know, oh, Edge just said it's never going to happen. They denied this, they denied this. How many times has everyone denied it? How many times has Chris Jericho ever denied he's come back to WWE? CM Punk said, oh, no, I met with Fox, but they never got back to me. You know, this is how professional wrestling works. Like, they will deny it. Why on earth would Edge come out and say, oh, yeah, by the way, I am coming back at the Rumble? You know, unless you're Cain Velasquez, who spoils it a couple of weeks in advance, you know, he's not going to come out and just say, oh, yeah, I am appearing at the Rumble. So when people deny it, you know, this is wrestling. You know, it's a work, brother, okay? That's how it works. Now, like I said, not only did he appear at SummerSlam last year where he speared Elias, which was a physical role, He stayed on the podcast. He could do it if he wanted to. He does his own bumps when he does his stunt work. And if you've gone onto his Instagram recently, I believe last year, and this was around the time he speared Elias, he put something on his, put a post on his Instagram page where you saw that this guy is in tremendous shape. Now, he'd admitted that he'd let himself go once he'd retired from the ring. Many athletes and professional wrestlers do. Google Ahmed Johnson, see the shape he's in right now. But he'd got in tremendous shape, and you look at him now and you go, hey, wait a minute, that's not just tremendous shape, that could be competitive wrestling shape. So he's in the shape to do it. I'll put a link to his Instagram below, or I'll put it in the screen grab for this video. You'll see the shape he's in. He's tremendous. And also, he quit his podcast. He did a podcast with Christian, the Edge and Christian Podcast of Awesomeness, I believe it was called. And a certain time last year, around the time when it was reported that he was going to Pittsburgh for WWE business and he'd signed this new contract, he said, look, I'm not going to do the podcast anymore. Didn't really expand as to why, but a logical jump would be, oh, I'm not doing it anymore because I'm too busy doing work in the ring. So, that makes sense. There's a lot of different factors here, but they all add up and point to one direction. Now, will he show up at the Royal Rumble? The report has been that he's a lock, quote, for the Rumble. The issue is here, if he does show up, if he doesn't win, there's a potential the crowd could turn on whoever's left in the match or whoever eliminates him, let's be honest. You know, when you have this big surprise return, you think of Cena in 2008, you think of Edge in 2010, they almost have to win, because if they don't, their surprise return is dead, right? It doesn't work. The issue would be then that if he does show up and he does win the Royal Rumble, that means that, according to whoever's champion at the moment, he's going to have to face The Fiend or Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for a championship. Now, is that going to happen? I would be stunned. It seems like Roman Reigns is going to face The Fiend, and with Edge's history of neck issues and all that stuff, I know he's been cleared to return. But do you really want him in the ring taking German suplexes from Brock Lesnar? I don't think so. Therefore, I believe that if he does show up at the Rumble, he's not winning the Rumble. So that leads to us to say, okay, if he returns, he does show up at the Rumble, or he doesn't show up at the Rumble, but he is cleared and he's going to come back, who does he face at WrestleMania? Could you have Randy Orton? Now, Randy Orton on Raw, he did that fake injury angle of AJ Styles a few weeks ago. He actually name-dropped Edge himself, saying about his retirement speech and how he had to retire from an injury, blah, blah, blah. So people saw that and went, hey, is Randy Orton Edge going to happen in the near future? You'd think maybe, okay, they're planting some seeds here. Former partner with Rated RKO, they feud together in the past. Who's more safe in the ring than Randy Orton? Edge would obviously trust him in the ring. So that's one avenue they can go down. Could it be John Cena? You think back to when Edge first won the WWE Championship. Who did he win it off? He won it off John Cena. They had a rivalry that went, about 2 or 3 years. You know, back and forth with the WWE Championship. There's history there they could tell. If John Cena can only come in for a one-off, then who better to go up against than Edge? They both don't need to be on TV every week to tell that story. It works to both their schedules really well, doesn't it? Could it be The Undertaker? Edge had an amazing rivalry with The Undertaker, which again lasted about a year, even including a match at WrestleMania 24 where Edge couldn't beat The Undertaker. Could they have another match at WrestleMania? I probably wouldn't want to go down that avenue. I think we've seen it, and also, even though The Undertaker has lost at WrestleMania now, I don't think they need to have him keep losing. And if Edge doesn't win at WrestleMania, and I think his return is going to be more for one than one match, if that does happen, you don't really want Edge to lose. So you're booking yourself in a corner there. So I don't think that would happen. Personally, I'd like to see him face a new superstar. Someone like Seth Rollins. You've got the history there. Remember back in 2014 when Seth was part of the Authority and he needed to bring back the Authority? How did he bring back the Authority? How did he force John Cena's hand? He threatened to break Edge's neck during an episode of The Cutting Edge on Monday Night Raw. So that's the story there. Seth Rollins is calling himself the Monday Night Messiah. The story you could have at the Royal Rumble is Edge comes out. Everyone's going crazy. The crowd are going nuts. Who does he eliminate from the match? He eliminates Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has got this new faction now. He's got the AOP and he's got Buddy Murphy. They all gang up on Edge. They beat the hell out of him. They throw him out the Rumble. People are pissed off, but guess what? that negates of saying to everyone, okay, oh, Edge had to win. That's your out there. That's the out that WWE could do. So once they get Edge out the Rumble, Edge is pissed and he's like, you know what? I want to face you, Seth Rollins, at WrestleMania. He challenges him to the match, and then they have the match. I would steer Edge miles away from the buckle bombs. That's already retired Sting. I don't think that's necessary to do. But that's a great match there, and that's a match that we didn't think we were going to see, and we didn't think was possible. Remember the quote, the doctors will never ever clear me. So I would be interested in that one. I would be more interested in seeing an Edge Seth Rollins match than seeing an Edge Randy Orton match. If Edge is going to come back, you wanted to see him have matches that you never thought were possible. We've already seen Randy Orton and Edge. No doubt it would be great to see them face off once again. But we've already seen it. We need something new. We always criticise Raw and SmackDown, saying, oh, they don't show us anything new. They don't show us anything new. Something new would be an Edge and Seth Rollins feud. So, in conclusion, do I think Edge is going to come back at the Rumble? Yes. Is he going to win it? No. Is he going to appear at WrestleMania? Yes. Who's he going to face? My prediction is going to be Seth Rollins. But it's not all about me. What do you think? That's what's most important. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Edge is returning to the WWE despite his denials? If so, is he going to win the Royal Rumble? Is he going to compete at WrestleMania? And who's he going to face at WrestleMania? Thank you very much for listening, watching or streaming. I'll speak with you again very soon.